everyone, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 1st of April going through until Sunday the 7th of April 2019. Thank you for joining me. It's really nice to be with you today. Now this week looks like a fabulous week. It's a wonderful start to April. For the first 4 days until Thursday, it's very much about love and being connected with yourself, with the moon being in Pisces. The moon goes into Aries on Thursday, and that's about taking practical action, being the boss, and really taking your fire and applying it to things that you love and that you want. So on Monday, I'm going to give you a day-by-day rundown of what's happening this week, what the planets are doing up in the sky, and that's how we're going to be affected. These readings are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches. The monthly horoscopes for April are out for your specific sun sign. So if you're a sun sign Pisces or a sun sign Sagittarius, the monthly horoscopes are available. And if you watch the forecasts for your sun sign and for your rising sign and even your moon sign, watch them in that order. First, the sun sign, that's the most important thing. That's your identity. That's what you're striving towards becoming. Then the rising sign, which is your default setting, your natural way of behaving, often very instinctual. And then if you need even more information, which it can get kind of confusing if you watch 3 forecasts, but look at the moon as well if you want even more info. Okay, my horoscopes are also based on UK time, so just bear that in mind. And our clocks have changed on Sunday. So we're in British summertime now, hooray, on April the 1st, so the days are going to be much longer. On Monday the 1st of April, we have the moon going into Pisces at 2:49 in the afternoon. And the Pisces moon then, the moon, remember, is that part of you that's how you feel. It's the most sensitive part of who you are. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's very much about sharing with other people. Think of the astrology as a wheel that represents the season, and it's based on the northern hemisphere. And Pisces is at the time of year when the larders have all been emptied. So families live together through the winter and they've stocked up for winter, and Pisces is the final time where they have to rely on their own resources and share and make do. Now that summer and spring and summer are on their way, they can find new sources of food and new sources of income. The world is warming up again, there's more fire in the world, and they can do things independently. So Pisces is very much about being considerate of other people, being gifted as an entertainer and keeping other people happy, distracting them through music or poetry or art, being spiritually connected and being able to connect with your higher self, and really being able to let things go. If someone says something the wrong way, instead of immediately jumping down their throat, you're more forgiving, you're calmer, you give people the benefit of the doubt. So the moon is in that sign of Pisces, and it conjunct Venus, the planet of love, which is also in Pisces. So you can imagine when the planet of love connects with all of those qualities that I just described. Venus is so forgiving and so loving in Pisces. The Pisces moon squares Mars in Gemini, and Mars is the male principle. It's the opposite of being forgiving and compromising. It's the planet that says, I want, I will not compromise, I desire, I will pursue, and I get what I want. And it's in Gemini, so it wants to explore. And that causes friction with the Pisces moon, because the Pisces moon is saying, I'm happy where I am, I'm settled, I'm looking at being around other people I love. I don't really want to go on some wild goose chase here. Now the Pisces moon also sextiles Uranus and Taurus, and a sextile is a harmonious relationship. And Uranus and Taurus says anything can happen on a physical, practical level. So the Pisces moon is really happy with that, because it says, if I stay in my place, if I stay in my circumstances the way they are, then I'm going to experience the unexpected. Anything can happen, and I don't really need to go anywhere to make that happen. So Monday the 1st of April, you feel naturally connected to yourself and to your environment. The potential for love and romance is in the air, which goes for couples and singles, and there really is that desire to stay put and to enjoy the good things that are already in your life right now, rather than getting and grabbing and being greedy. There's none of that happening on Monday the 1st, so there's a real sense of gratitude and being at peace. And you enter the week with that sense of, oh, everything's okay, everything's fine. Tuesday the 2nd of April, Mercury, the communication planet, is in Pisces, and obviously when the communication planet is in the last sign of the zodiac, it also focuses more on expressing itself beautifully through music and art and being really eloquent and articulate, so that other people will listen and will enjoy the way you speak. The way you think is also very forgiving, and it's also connected to the higher realms, or your inner child, or your higher self, whatever you want to call it. It conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the water planet of dreams and intuition, imagination, fantasy, healing. It's a giant planet of water, so it's endless emotion. It's your cup running over. That's in Pisces, the sign that it rules. So that can create it's too much of a good thing almost. That can create fog. That can create you totally leaving planet Earth and going into your fantasy bubble and just flying off into the astral realms and really being comfortable there, or really shutting down for the day and getting out your favorite book that you've read 5 times, like Wuthering Heights for instance, and you just let yourself be whisked away into the world of Heathcliff and the love that they share, that kind of thing. So the Pisces moon doesn't just conjunct Neptune, it also conjuncts Venus in Pisces. So love, Venus is the personal planet of love. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. It's love on a global level. So whether it's personal love, or love for humanity, or love for the planet and the environment, you're really embodying all of that. I love, therefore I am. That statement really applies to the first couple of days of April here. So it conjuncts Venus in Pisces and Mercury in Pisces. So it's all about thinking about others, being considerate, being creative, being spiritual, being loving, being forgiving, having a huge heart. And Tuesday is really one of the best days of the year for love and romance, but also to visit a medium and to make contact with the other side. I really feel that mediums, when they're real, you do get a lot, you have to be careful in discerning, because you do get a lot of frauds out there. But a genuine medium who's able to make contact with a deceased loved one, that can be really comforting, especially if you left things in a way where you haven't said something, or where you really wanted them. That when your deceased loved ones pass away, they know everything about you. They know that you love them. But if you have something that's still unsaid and that's really kind of torturing you, like if the last conversation you had was a huge fight, then connecting with the other side can bring you huge comfort, and you can apologize and you can let it go. If you're creative and you struggle to get your ideas in order or out in some tangible format, Tuesday the 2nd of April is your day to succeed. On Wednesday the 3rd, We have Mars in Gemini, so the communication planet still wanting to go through lots of different doors, wanting to explore, wanting to gather information. And that sextiles Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries. So we've got a different energy coming in now. We've got air and fire, both of which are masculine. And Monday and Tuesday has been all water, very feminine, very receiving and very loving and nurturing. The moon is still in Pisces and it sextiles Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Saturn is the planet of structure and foundation. It's serious. It's like the astrological boss, the head engineer, the person who says this is the foundation. And is it 100%? Is it completely even? And we demand certainty and accuracy and things being done the right way. Pluto is about death and rebirth. It's about the phoenix rising from the ashes. And both of those serious planets, they're outer planets. So these are the big boys. They're in Capricorn, the sign of the worker, and in an earth sign which has to do with the practical world. So the moon connects with them. And then the moon squares Jupiter, the lucky planet, in Sagittarius, which also urges it to gallop away and gallop forward, but there's friction between the moon and Jupiter. So on Wednesday, instead of distracting yourself, trying to escape your everyday life, which Jupiter is going to urge you to do, just go and be irresponsible and explore and have fun. Today is a wonderful day to heal something in your life that keeps your vibration low. That's where the Mars in Gemini and Chiron in Aries sextile comes in. It's a wonderful opportunity. If you have something that's unhealed, if you overreact to anything in your life, so a rejection, we all get rejected, but some of us completely overreact to that and feel like our egos are totally crushed. Maybe it's ridicule that you overreact to, which we all experience as well. Maybe it's uncertainty that you just absolutely can't take. And the main point is, you know that something is unhealed and it's a problem when you overreact. So let's say that you get rejected and on a Tuesday and it crushes your ego. And the next day you wake up and you say, oh, I see this picture at a gallery. I see a Damien Hirst at a gallery. It's £4,000. It's way above my budget. But if I owned a Damien Hirst, I would really, really feel good about myself. It would really boost my ego. So often we harm ourselves by doing that. So something as simple as a date that's gone wrong, a simple rejection, can cause you to try and compensate, and you go out the next day and you put that Damien Hirst painting on a credit card because you feel like, I owe it to myself to rebuild myself, to rebuild my ego. And obviously that's a way of self-harming, because then you're £4,000 in debt. You couldn't afford that picture. If you can't afford the picture, then great. But the point is that overreaction and not being able to handle your own feelings and emotions is a sign that something is unhealed. So on Wednesday, talking to a therapist or someone close to you who has time to listen and to be supportive and non-critical and non-judgmental. When you speak to them, Gemini is about communication, remember? Being with people like that will give you insights that will allow you to heal this wound, and once the wound is healed, it fundamentally changes your frequency. And we create the world. Whatever frequency we resonate with, or whatever vibration we're at, that's what we attract. So if my natural frequency is joy and sunshine and just life is a party and success. It just is that way. I'm here to celebrate, and other people love me and I love them. You see, my vibration just saying this is raised. And if you believe that about yourself, life will reward you. But if you vibrate at the frequency of, oh, I've been rejected several times and I'm trying to protect myself from being hurt again, you can immediately tell that that's just taken a nosedive. And if you give out that energy, you can bet your bottom dollar that you will attract someone who is going to reject you again. So personal healing, you may feel, is self-indulgent or unnecessary. It isn't, because you can live your best life this time around. I believe in reincarnation, I really do. I really feel that we visit planet Earth several times. But that doesn't mean that you can't make this your best life ever. And that you use this opportunity to really heal those things which are holding you back, and to raise your vibration so that wonderful, unexpected, glorious, miraculous things happen in your daily life. And that's the norm. So use Wednesday. It's a really fabulous day to heal those things which hold you back. And it will allow you to fundamentally change your future. It's really important. I want to highlight and emphasize and underline how useful Wednesday the 3rd of April is. I'm going to be talking to my sponsor. I'm going to be talking to people who understand me and who have been with me on my journey. And I'm going to put some things to rest which still haunt me. So I'm making a mental note here for myself. Thursday, the 4th of April, we have the moon going into Aries. Now this is the second part of the week, so things fundamentally shift, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's water and it's feminine. And now we're going into the first sign of the zodiac. There are 12 signs of the zodiac in the horoscope wheel, and Aries is number 1. And in numerology, Aries is 1. The magician in the tarot. It's about I think and do, and therefore I am. I create. I am passionate. I do things. So the moon moves into that sign at 2:58 in the morning, and the Aries moon then conjuncts Chiron, and it's a conjunction is when the moon and Chiron blend their energies, and it sextiles a harmonious relationship, Mars, the male principle, which rules Aries. So they're very happy sextiling each other. Hello Mars, hello moon in Aries, let's be BFFs. And Mars is in Gemini. Doorways, opportunities, where are we going to go? So Thursday is the day to do all of those things that you've dreamt of doing but have never had the chance to. You can make your dreams a reality. You have the practical know-how, the energy, and the self-confidence to actually follow through on things that you've always dreamt of but have always been too afraid to pursue. So we have some real opportunities for personal change and development here in April. And let's all set the intention to really make the most of this, because we're all growing as individuals, and it doesn't matter if you're 8 or 80. We all have the potential to raise our vibration and to bring the best things into our lives. And let's make that happen. Let's not suffer anymore. Let's have wonderful lives where miraculous, amazing things just fall in our laps every day. We have to do a little bit of legwork, but let's do that. Let's make a pinky promise to each other to do that, okay? So Wednesday and Thursday, the 3rd and 4th, are your friends to do that. On Friday the 5th, we've got a new moon in Aries at 8:52 in the morning. So I'm going to make a separate video on the new moon. I haven't done that yet, but I do speak about the new moon in your monthly horoscopes for each specific sign of the zodiac. So if you're a Virgo or a Libra or a Scorpio, I tell you in which house the new moon occurs for you, and the house is the area of your life that it's going to impact. So a new moon in itself is when the moon recharges its battery, it pulls in Aries energy. So that ability to say, I'm confident, I believe in myself, I've dreamt of this and I'm just going to do it, that energy becomes even more heightened. Look at the monthly horoscope for your sign, because that's going to tell you what area of your life that's going to be most helpful in. So if it's in your 10th house of career, then make your hopes and dreams work-wise a reality. Make a lateral move or apply for a promotion. If it's in your 5th house of romance, then pursue that, go after it. Check out the monthlies, and I'll make the new moon video in a day or two, just to go into a little bit more detail. Now the Aries moon also conjuncts the sun, obviously, because that's where it's getting its power from and it's recharging itself from, and it trines Jupiter in Sagittarius. So for the first time this week, the moon is actually forming a harmonious relationship with Jupiter, the lucky planet, which is in the sign that it rules. So very uncomplicated, and it says go, explore, make your dreams a reality, go and be happy, make it happen for yourself. So Friday, the can-do attitude that you've got is heightened with the moon sidling up to the sun here, and it empowers you and it gives you a huge ego boost and a huge sense of certainty, identity and self-belief. You can't buy this stuff. Thursday and Friday are the days to get practical with all of the things that your higher self has been guiding you to do for a while, but that you haven't had the confidence or the know-how to do. So this is your time to break through and to make your dreams a reality. This is a really important week for all of us seekers who feel like, I haven't reached my maximum potential yet. If you feel like you're enlightened and everything is fulfilled, you've ticked every box, which is very unlikely because none of us are there. If we were, we'd become enlightened and move on to our next incarnation. So it's very unlikely that you are there, but if you just have one box left to tick, make sure you tick it this week. It's your opportunity. Saturday the 6th of April, we have the moon going into Taurus at 7 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. Now this is another energy change. The moon in Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac, and it's much calmer. It's an earth sign. It's about stability, security. It's about slowing down, looking at your home, making sure it's beautiful and you feel comfortable in it, looking at your body and making that a priority, focusing on the sensations that you receive from your body and the messages you get from your body. So whether your body is saying, I need more exercise, or I need healing, or I need physical touch, if we listen to our bodies, you'll really notice that it does give you messages. And sometimes, like for instance, if you suddenly get a craving for celery, something in your body needs something that's in celery, and it has an intelligence and a memory of its own. And it will tell you, go buy some celery and eat it because that's what I need right now. So there's no explanation to it. You won't know exactly what that is, but your body knows. So you become much more in touch with your physical kind of incarnation, with your financial situation, with your day-to-day routine, your home, whether it's a happy home, whether the energy makes you feel at peace and nurtured and comforted, or whether there's something that needs beautifying. So the focus shifts significantly here over the weekend. The Taurus moon also conjuncts Uranus in Taurus, so the same sign, and Uranus is the planet of energy, eccentricity, doing things in your own unique way, the way you see fit. No one else, the way you see fit. And being outrageous and doing things in a quirky way if you want. So on Saturday there may be some financial uncertainty or worries about your money or your security or your physical health, and that kind of uncertainty is floating around in the atmosphere. So if you have any fears in any of those areas, remember to hand those fears over to your higher power, your inner child, whatever you call it. And remember that nothing is permanent, and let yourself be guided. You'll find a way to make everything all right. So if you're terribly concerned that you don't have the money to pay the rent this month, that's a real stressor. And you'll sit there and you'll be worried and you'll be pulling out your hair, and it's a genuine fear. Don't sit with that fear alone. Hand it over. Anything to do with your physical life here on planet Earth, give it to your higher power for your higher power to deal with, and ask for help. And on a practical level, just say to yourself, this too will pass. And wait for the answers to come. If they don't come immediately, if you don't immediately receive a message from your higher self that says, go here and apply for this job and you'll be able to make the money that will immediately pay you one day before the rent is due and you'll be alright. If that doesn't come immediately, don't give up and don't be discouraged. It will come. Have faith. Finally, on Sunday the 7th of April, we have Mercury in Pisces still connecting you with your higher self and your instincts and your inner child. And it forms a sextile, which is a happy relationship, with Saturn in Capricorn. And Saturn in Capricorn is the planet that looks after you here on planet Earth. It makes sure that you have a house to live in, that you have a roof over your head, that your bones support you in walking down the street, everything to do with the structures of your life. So your ideas and the way you think is connected to Saturn. Also the Taurus moon, which is about the body and the physical, financial realities of your life, that trines Saturn in Capricorn as well. So another harmonious relationship with the head engineer of our lives, Saturn. So on Sunday the veil really thins, and you do receive the answers from your higher self, your inner child, or your instincts, whatever you call them. So on Saturday, just make sure you let it go and try and distract yourself by doing other things. Do the things that you can deal with, that are in your control, or do things which are outstanding. Any responsibilities you have, go after them, and don't just sit there and fret all day. That's the worst you can do, because worrying and sitting there and just being afraid, that's a meditation on the negativity, and you expand it and you make it bigger. And we don't want to do that. We want to have someone wiser and bigger deal with that for us, and we want to meditate on the good stuff and raise our vibration, remember, earlier in the week. So on Sunday you get the answers on how to solve your problems, whether they be financial, health related, to do with your security, or the sense of rootedness in your life. Where should I live? Where do I feel at peace? What town or what place do I call home? What is that? All of those seem threatened and kind of under attack and up for discussion. And you don't want them to be up for discussion, you just want them to be settled and done with. So don't panic. Listen to the answers of your higher self. Listen to the solutions. The universe has your back. And also, because the veil is thin, like earlier in the week on Tuesday, it's a great time to connect with someone to have a reading, to let yourself be guided, or to connect with your higher self on your own and to hear the solutions, because your messages will come in. And the higher self messages, unfortunately, are always kind of quiet. You have to strain to hear them. They're repetitive and they feel very calm. And they are repetitive for years and years and years until you follow through on those. Ego guidance is loud. It's really easy to hear. It feels super urgent. And it feels like if I don't do this right now, I'm going to be in trouble. And when you follow that kind of guidance, you create more problems for yourself. So make sure that if it feels calm and it makes sense and it gives you a sense of, then you go for it. But if it's like, if I don't get this done by 5 o'clock, I'm ruined, forget about it. It's not going to help you in any way. So that is your week from Monday the 1st of April through until Sunday the 7th. It's an amazing week. It's really important, especially around the 3rd and 4th. I'm going to be doing lots of personal work on myself to let things be in the past and to be done with them. I don't want to carry around all this baggage anymore. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you would like a personal reading with me, to look at any of the things that are going on in your life, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology in my readings. The astrology chart is really, really helpful because I use your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth, and that allows me to draw up your birth chart, and that's a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it shows me everything about you. What your talents are when it comes to work, what your life purpose is, why you're here. And sometimes your working life purpose and your soul purpose are the same, but sometimes they're different. I can see where you've been in past lifetimes and what strengths you bring into this lifetime. Because if you were a nun in a past lifetime and had a genuine connection with a higher power, you don't come into this lifetime having lost that. You may have to reconnect in a way, but once you do, you find that this whole world opens up to you because you've had a lifetime of experience in that. Nothing is ever lost. Energy never goes poof, it's just transformed. I can also look at what's destined for you in all of the areas of your life, what your strengths and weaknesses are, where the ego tries to sabotage you, where you have to do a little bit of work, what you're meant to achieve in your 30s, 40s, 50s, what's going on in your love life, your finances, travel, where the best places to live. I use the astrocartography for that. Any health concerns, if you've got questions about those. I'm not medically trained. I look at the astrology, the tarot, and my intuition gives me answers about health and what you can do to improve that. And that's always useful, I find. So if you have any questions at all, then you know where I am. Just get in touch with me anytime. GregoryScott.com. Click on the Readings tab to order your reading, or the Special Services tab to order your chart rectification. I hope you have a wonderful week here. It really promises to be life-changing. Really, really. Have a great week, and I will be with you for the daily tarot readings that are also for all signs of the zodiac. Check out the monthly horoscopes for your particular sign, because it will tell you where the new moon is happening. And look out in the next, I hope, 1, 2, or 3 days, I'll make the video on the new moon. Look out for that, because I'll go into more detail. And also the yearly horoscopes for your sign of the zodiac. There's more information there. So have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you next week.